for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, VENM Fire here back with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another money play that beats every coverage in Madden 21. The play I'm going to be talking about is going to be PA crossers out of the gun trips tight end offset. Now this play is very, very good. It's also very underrated in a couple of aspects. It can be pretty similar to the bunch tight end actually in its delay fade factor. So we're going to go ahead and explain through that. I also got some other good setups for this play, including the delay fade, some other stuff we can do as well. It's going to be relatively ability free, so you're not going to necessarily need any abilities. Again, the Bears don't really have too many offensive abilities regardless, but gunslinger helps, fast quarterback helps to kind of roll out, so that's why I'm using Mitchell Trubisky right here. And yeah, with that being said, let's get into it. Now, we're going to be in the New York Jets offensive playbook. It's also in Seattle, it's in Houston, it's in a lot of playbooks. Also, for the video, I do want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We cannot get there without your help. About 75% of my viewers right now are not subscribed, so if that's you, go ahead and hit that sub button. But back to the point, we're just going to be going over PA crossers today. As far as the plays I'm going to go over it against, it'll probably be some man, some zone. I'll go ahead and throw some safeties in there at linebackers so we get an accurate kind of reading. And we'll just run some man coverage to start out. We'll transition into zone. Anyways, when you're running this play, it's important to make sure that you do have your trips on the wide side of the field, as we do right here. Now, just the stock way to run it, I'm going to explain the delay fade first, then we'll hop into some of the other things that you can do. So we'll start out with the delay fade. Now, there's not a very good play action. I know how to PA boot over in that bunch tight end. A lot of people like to keep the play action out of this gun trips tight end offset. The play action is not good. I'll just kind of show what it looks like. And this is against man coverage. We see how if you don't cancel it, it's just going to not be the best. Here's a look at the delay fade working. As you see, the player that was manned up on Jimmy Graham ended up rushing the quarterback. It's important that you do get outside of the pocket. Otherwise, he's not going to rush. But yeah, some simple stuff there. Now, you could go ahead and cancel the play action like right here. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And you see how he's still going to release, and you can still throw it up the field. So realistically, you could keep the play action if you want, especially if you're going with a inside zone heavy offense. Now, if you're not, I don't think it's too big of a deal to keep it, and it'll just make it a little bit easier to scramble out of the pocket. So I could like just double team this outside guy, delay fade, boom, Jimmy Graham's going to pick him up. Even if he sheds, we release, and we can throw it to 8. Now, that time, it wasn't as clean. We had a little bit of weird stuff. So I think that was caused by our double team. Realistically, if you just play it kind of standard coverage, you should be fine right there. Again, you see him rushing. Biggest key to the delay fade working is just getting outside of the pocket, bringing those defenders' eyes to the quarterback and making the play. Against the man coverage, you've probably seen Allen Robinson getting open, I would assume. The rest of the routes do not really get open, but let's talk about some of the ways that we can use the delay fade but create some other route combinations using our other players. So one of the ways that I like to do it is I'm going to go ahead and put my running back on an option. So he's not going to be blocking anyways. We're going to throw RB on a little option route. And this is pretending, let's say maybe he uses the tight end. You can't throw it. You can't go to it every play. You're going to have to make some other stuff up. Now, as far as our other routes, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw Y on a little flat, and I'm going to slant Darnell Mooney on the outside like so. I'm going to motion him from left to right just like this, and then we're going to go ahead and snap the ball. So we got a slant, we got a crosser, we got a delay fade, and then this little option. So the option beats man coverage, the crosser beats man coverage, the slant beats man coverage, the delay fade beats man coverage. Now again, Bears O-line is not good, Bears quarterback is not good, so we don't have a lot of things going for us necessarily, but you can make it work, which is what we're basically going to go ahead and do. So again, this setup, RB on an option, and also, let's say you get bluffed. So maybe it's like man coverage or zone coverage. Let's say they man a line or something, just to confuse you a little bit. If I were playing man a line right here, I would do a little bit of zone flipping. I would just throw L1 in the inside third, and I would play it like this. So let's say you get confused. Maybe you even think it's man coverage, it's zone coverage. And you would run the same setup if that was the case, just like so. Again, zone, I like double teaming that guy a little bit more just because it's going to be easy to get out. Although our right tackle does absolutely nothing there. That's just amazing game development by EA. But Let's say they contain. So I'm going to contain here. I can't get out of the pocket. I can't throw that beater. You can easily step up in the pocket. I can throw my crosser. I can throw my option. I can throw my slant. And the delay fade sometimes can work if you're in the pocket. It's not intended to work that way, but here you see stepping up, throwing that crosser. The slant would be open. Usually the user's going to have to take a high-low read. Depending on the rest of the routes, it will not be easy for them to do. But yeah, let's hop into some of the other ways to run it besides the delay fade, because you don't want to overuse the delay fade. You want to mix it in and put it in timely situations. Maybe it's a 3rd and 10 where you need a first down, 4th downs, stuff like that. So let's talk about some other stuff. I'm going to block my running back for extra protection. And what I'm going to do is create a very similar concept. All I'm going to do is just put A on a regular streak instead, and we're going to create the same exact route combination we had. So I'm still going to slant X, flat Y. Realistically, if I wanted to, if it was man coverage, I could throw Y on a little out route if I feel like that could get open. You see it actually did. Here you see our backside slant getting some nice separation. Just some standard route combination type stuff. Once again, here is a look at that route combination. Just blocking our running back, out Y, slant X. Go ahead and streak A for a little clear out. Go ahead and motion him over and snap the ball. So you see, if you can roll out, it's going to be better for that crosser as well. Allen Robinson does have that deep out elite, I believe, so he's actually going to get better catching on that particular route. Nice to have. But yeah, that was our next setup. Let's move into something else that you could also do. Now, the next setup I'm going to do is a little bit of a unique route combination. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw my tight end on a drag. We're going to mix in some of this curl flat stuff. So what I'm going to do is drag A, I'm going to curl X, and then I'm going to go ahead and wheel RB, and I'm going to hitch Y. So here's a look at our setup. Looks a little bit weird, but I'm going to motion Anthony Miller on his hitch over. This is mainly a zone coverage beater. I'm actually in man here, so we'll just go through it. But drag gets open, crosser gets open. The curl route should beat man coverage as well. So you have some good options. As I stated previously, it's mainly intended to beat zone coverage, which is what I'm going to hop in here. So again, wheel RB, hitch Y, curl X, drag A, motion him across. Really the real one constant that we're going to keep is going to be that player. Now with the hitch, it's better to snap it a little bit earlier, because you see if I wait, he's a little bit far outside, and him and the wheel can be defended by same zones in certain particular situations. So just be a little bit careful with that. You could even run it on the short side if you wanted to, really, but yeah, zone coverage. Depending on the zones, usually the drag's going to be open, but you could realistically end up running different stuff. Also, if I wanted to, I could also block my running back and just run this. Sometimes these simple route combos just can work even better. Here, the drag, even without Gunslinger, I probably should have lowballed that, but still able to get the hands on it. That should be a catch in most scenarios. But yeah, overall, that's a very good route combination. Let's hop into some other stuff you can do. I'm going to go back to the streak A, option RB. But on this left side, I'm going to go ahead, hitch Y, and put X on a deep out route. So here's a look at our setup. This is a very good spacing concept. It's going to be pretty successful against man coverage. Boom, you see the option route's going to be open once again there, and that's a safety manned up on, not a receiving running back. So you see the separation, pretty nice there. Let's go back to Tampa 2 here just to mix in something else. This in particular, I believe, is a pretty good defense for it. Cover 3 is pretty bad against it, but this in particular should be decent. You see how the vert hook and the cloud flat's going to put in work. This option's really nice against zone coverage because it does just sit in that little zone. Against cover 3, you see that the hitch should be wide open. The out route could potentially be open. The hitch, I think, does a good job of kind of pulling down that curl flat and opening up the out route, which I could have thrown if I have Gunslinger, if I have the right spacing. But the hitch is also wide open in that scenario. One more time, here is a look at what we have. And also, instead of the hitch, let's say I don't like the hitch, I could always flat Y instead, create a little concept. I could go with something like this, just standard curl flat, or I could actually motion Anthony Miller over, put him on a drag, and I could leave the out route. Just some standard stuff. We actually have a route combo kind of similar to that I'm going to go over next. That's a weird animation on the drag, but moving on to our thing that I want to talk about next, and we're going to go back to Darnell Mooney's route, or Anthony Miller's route. Now, I'm actually going to motion Mooney over this time instead, just to create some bluff concepts, because we had motioned him over on the slant, but we hadn't motioned him on any other route. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead, curl Y, I'm going to out X, streak A, and option RB. Now this is mainly zone coverage. So we had the man coverage stuff kind of earlier. Now I'm just going to go in stock zone coverage. Basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to motion Mooney over. So again, I put him on an in route, but when I motion him over, he's turning into an out route. And I just like to motion him across and kind of snap it here. He's going to pull out zones, and it just opens things up really well. I don't feel super comfortable putting Jimmy Graham on an out route from there. So that's just the reason that I like to motion over the out route better. You see how it pulls down zones. It's going to be successful. It's going to keep the defender honest. You're forcing your opponent to go ahead and double flat on that right side when maybe he just wants to double flat the trip side. So it's really creating a lot of different stuff for you. As far as the back end of our play, I could always block my running back actually for this route combo if I wanted to. I don't necessarily need the option. It does kind of make it a little bit congested. And with the out route, I can actually snap it as early as I want. I have a little bit better success as I'm accidentally in man coverage there. That was my bad. But what I was saying is I can kind of snap it earlier and then I can throw it. So in addition to that, I would put him on a flat. Unfortunately, you can't. You can only do a flat with Miller. So maybe I'll show you that in a little. But yeah, here's a look at what we're doing. Just motion Mooney over. And what I was saying is I could snap him a little bit earlier and probably fit that in maybe. If not, I can always throw it. But you see how maybe I can fit that in, especially if his curl flats are deep. That's something that you can catch him off guard with. I could always motion him as far as I want as well. So it gives you options. Going back to that other combo I was talking about, or the same concept. I could either put Mooney on this curl route, or what I like to do is put him on this deep in route. I'm going to flat Y, and I'm just going to motion Y across like this. We're going to snap the ball right here, and then I could throw that potentially. If it's man coverage, we got the in route as well. Again, zone coverage, I like that flat a little bit, so let's audible to Tampa 2. And again, the route combo was this for us. So you can use the delay fade. Sometimes it's better just to, especially without abilities, it's best to just put him on the streak, because otherwise you're gonna have to put your running back on something. Here you see again the in route open, the crosser deep, very difficult to user, gives you some options. Realistically, if I wanted to, I could set something up just like this, where we have the drag, the crosser, and I could snap it stock. Gives you some good options. Again, that in route wide open. So overall, it's going to do for the video. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more, and peace. I'm out of here.